If you like your shooters hard and out of the ordinary, the Super NES has a decent, if limited, repertoire of awesome titles to deliver the goods. But what's this? At first glance, Pocky and Rocky might seem like a top-down adventure game, in the vein of Legend of Zelda, with its 8-way movement and heart-filled life gauge. But, almost as soon as you start, it becomes very obvious that this little gem is a superb vertical running gunner, with tons of shmup influence and very little in the way of forgiveness. The story in this game revolves around the shrine-mated Pocky and her Tanuki companion Rocky in a quest to find out why Rocky's friends, the Nopino goblins, have succumbed to a dark force and are driven against them.
I've been a fan of Pocky and Rocky since its North American debut by Natsumi in 1993. Its adorable style only added to the illusion that the game will play as fairly with you as it looks cute. Don't be surprised when you find out that this game is nowhere near as friendly as it looks. But with solid co-op gameplay and a challenge that begs to be overcome, this is definitely a game that shooter fans should check out.
Pocky and Rocky is a very, very deceptive game that almost defies classification. But, if you look closely, you can see that it's absolutely a shooting game through and through. When playing Pocky and Rocky, you have access to 3 different core attacks. The first is a basic shot attack that fires in the direction you're moving and can be leveled up with purple orbs to a maximum level of 4. In addition, you can also switch shots to fire shots, which at higher levels will spread out when they hit an obstacle or enemy. Your shot power will deplete if you end up getting hit by an enemy or shot. In the case of fireball power, you'll revert to your basic shot if you take enough damage.
Next up is the sweep attack. This allows the player to deflect certain enemies or their shots and prevents you from taking damage. While it may not work all the time, it is a critically important technique throughout the game.
Finally, there's the magic attack. This particular attack acts just like a bomb attack in a traditional shmup, clearing all shots and small enemies off the screen, and heavily damaging even bosses. You can pick up green orbs to increase your magic bomb stock throughout the game.
Beyond the core shooting mechanics are a slide maneuver, which not only gets you out of harm's way, but can send your partner careening into other enemies. Health recovery pickups and shields placed throughout the stages, and a progressive life system that rewards you with an increased life meter after each stage you clear without continuing.
The firepower available to you isn't the only thing in Pocky and Rocky that proudly displays the game's shooting colors. The enemy waves and shots are definitely reminiscent of most scrolling 2D shmups, and the stages are tight and winding, which require precise movement and reflexes to navigate. And, even though they don't usually auto-scroll, they're plenty challenging right from the outset.
Don't be fooled by the cute outward appearance of this game. It'll absolutely kick your butt 2 ways from Sunday. The stages themselves sometimes trap a player in a dead end while enemies fire upon them, and certain enemies can be particularly relentless in their fire patterns and movements. In later stages, everything seems to be an environmental hazard and requires exceptional skill to overcome. But while there are unlimited credits, continuing reduces your life stock to just 4 hearts, making the final stages in particular ridiculously hard. While casual players might not be up to the challenge to see it through to the end, Pocky and Rocky has an ultra-hardcore edge that experienced players will most certainly dig.
The scoring in Pocky and Rocky is unfortunately a bit on the simple side. You can get a score boost by picking up health items at full health, or weapon power-ups at full power. And you can also hit secret score points to release friends, which will boost your score. And there is, of course, the obligatory end boss bonus for remaining time and health. But with no extends, a feature which was added to the less 2-player friendly Pocky and Rocky 2, the score is more or less useless. No extends also means the gameplay is even more ruthless, which in itself might just be a selling point for the hardest of hardcore. However, as far as the scoring goes, it does little to add to the experience.
As if the sharp, responsive gameplay wasn't enough, Pocky and Rocky also sports a fantastic presentation. The visuals are clear and well-defined and have an unmistakable charm that is maintained throughout the entire game. The enemy design and behavior is diverse, and some of the bosses are quite nifty. There are even story events between the levels that progress the plot with detailed story panels.
As for the audio design, the music in the game is not only well composed, but very well sampled as well. Most if not all of the music in the game is pleasing to listen to, with all sorts of catchy tunes with that signature Super NES feel, and fitting sound effects that at times resemble the TurboGrafx-16 sound engine. All in all, Pocky and Rocky's solid brand of run and gunning is pretty satisfying, and is even reflected in some modern games. But how does it stack up? Let's take a look. Like many of the best shooters on the Super NES, the control in Pocky and Rocky is sharp and responsive.
Its cute, colorful visuals are clear and well defined.
The presentation keeps the good times rolling with a great soundtrack that's well sampled and matches the action perfectly.
Finally, Pocky and Rocky sports a great mixture of run and gun, shmup, and action adventure.
Now this one gets a positive and a negative at the same time because the punishing difficulty will definitely push casual players away, but hardcore shooting fans will definitely dig it.
What isn't good though is the shallow scoring system, especially with no extends.
But let's face it, these two sticking points just aren't that big a deal. As such, Pocky and Rocky comes very highly recommended. Now the pricing for Pocky and Rocky is a bit of a mixed bag. I was able to find my copy for about $10 at a mom and pop shop, but at auction, it goes for about $40. Either way you slice it though, it's still worth it. And the sooner you can find your copy, the better. And fitting sound effects that at times resemble the TurboGrafx-16 sound engine. I am a man with a voice. Listen to this voice. It is soothing in your ears.